This is the voice of the Report of the Week, signing on. Hello, everyone. This is VORW, the voice of the Report of the Week. We're not broadcasting on 7490 right now. No, not at all. Not at all, my friends. We are broadcasting presently on the YouTube, online for the world to hear. This is our YouTube service, as some could say, I suppose. But we're here, online indeed, on the YouTubes for everyone to hear. 7490 covers North America, but YouTube is worldwide pretty much, except for North Korea. We don't have internet. Maybe parts of China. So here we are, though. Here we are, it's May. Yes, May indeed. Let's see the exact date. May the 16th it is. May the 16th. It's a Saturday. It's 5:30-ish p.m. presently. And, hope all is well. I do. Hope all is doing well on your end. Hope you've been having a fine week. And thus far, a wonderful weekend. Hope all is well on your end, though. Hope all is doing all right. Hope everything's all right. As I said, hope you're having a fine week, a good weekend. Hope you have a beautiful week to come. But hope all is well. My weekend thus far is bad. It really truly is. Honestly is. So, it is what it is, but just, I guess, bad. I'm just being honest. It wasn't good. I mean, I know it's a Saturday afternoon, but Sunday's never fun. It never is, because Sunday you gotta just sit there and know you got another week to suffer through. So. Saturday and Fridays are, and I know parts of most of Friday isn't part of the weekend, but from 5 p.m. onwards, it's the weekend, alright? And it's Friday evenings, Friday nights, and Saturdays, that's the weekend right there. Sunday is forget it. That doesn't even count, really. It's just like Monday, pretty much. It's pre-Monday, pretty much. Figure the week, 7 days, starts off with pre-Monday, Monday, Friday, and Saturday. That's how it feels like sometimes, really. But yeah, I don't really want to talk about it, but bad, just awful. Just some something that's bothering me, I guess. But it's alright. It's gonna be alright. It is. It is, but there's always another weekend after this one, and so forth. So that's that. I hope all is well. I do. I surely do. So, that's where things stand. And Friday was tiring. This week I've only been getting about 2 hours of sleep a day, and Friday that finally caught up with me. 4 hours of sleep I can handle, but 2 hours is, I guess, 2 hours too little. And a week's worth of 2 hours sleeps a night finally got me. Friday I I intentionally went for a nap at 4:30 with the intention of waking up at 9:30. Well, gosh damn it, what happens Apparently, someone who forgot what an alarm clock was, i.e. me, fell asleep at 4:30, woke up at 9-ish, fell back asleep, woke up at frickin' 5 a.m. And I was confused, I was disoriented, I didn't know where I was. Didn't know what day it was. I had to go over and turn on the radio and listen to an AM station until they said the date. Didn't know what happened, so I went on the computer and, I had some personal repercussions to deal with for that after making certain time commitments and obligations which I messed up thanks to my stupidity. But, I'll be better next time. But anyways, that's that. 4 hours of sleep, people. That's your rule. 4 hours you can do. You can get 4 hours of sleep per day. Been doing this since October or so. Anything less is not the best. Rule of thumb. 4 is the golden number. Everything less is no good. Doesn't work. Does not work. So that's one thing. I'm still disappointed in myself from that almost 24 hours later. Still am. A shame, really, Literally wasted half the weekend, sleeping. For something I regret. So, not happy about it. What's done is done. What can I do about it? Nothing. So, oh well. It's over. Avoid it in the future, and so be it. Sorry to, So on Thursday, I'm just thinking right now. Yeah, I'll go for that. So Thursday, I obtained a new suit. Added a new suit to the collection. Got a brand spanking new suit to the collection. Now, you're not going to see it for a little while. It's another double-breasted suit, 6x1 double-breasted button stands. I like those 6x1 double-breasted suits. Those things are excellent. They really, truly are excellent. Beautiful craftsmanship. Love the way they look. Great double-breasted suits. You really don't see that style of double-breasted suits anymore. They were big in the late 80s, 90s, and they carried into the early 2000s. They really weren't too popular then, but they were still you could still see them in clothing stores and suit stores, and they were still worn by many people. The 6x1, you could type it in 6x1 double-breasted suit, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Go to Google Images or whatever you'd like. You'll know what I'm talking about. 6x1 double-breasted suit. So, I like them a lot. You never see them anywhere except online nowadays, Brooks Brothers doesn't have them. Men's Warehouse, Joseph A. Bank doesn't have them. Macy's, etc. does not have them. Nobody has them. No stores whatsoever have them. So you gotta go online, you gotta go to eBay, or Amazon.com. And, I know there's some people who are picky shoppers. They'll say, well, I am never touching a single suit bought from eBay. Or it's pre-owned. Oh, God, no. People have their tastes and preferences. I understand that. I respect that. Me, I don't care. if I see a suit that's in my style, price is good, and assuming there's no tears, holes, rips, or stains of known or unknown origin on said materials and suit, I will buy it. I will. And that's how I buy. I don't need, a $2,500 Brooks Brothers suit. I know it's mostly a status symbol, but I just don't want that or need that. I want to save money, not spend it on some piece of fabric that you can't tell the difference between that and $100 suit. So, that's it pretty much. But there you have it. Got a new suit. Again, 6x1 double-breasted suit. It's an interesting color. They call it olive gray. And it's a combination of green and olive green. Or gray and olive green. And it works out really neat. The same darker color, but in gray. Really neat. And then it's got red pinstripes in it too, like dark red pinstripes. Really neat suit. As soon as I saw it, I had to get it. Jacket drapes down very nicely, wide lapels. Pants are pleated, creased, and cuffed, and wide-legged. They gotta be lengthened an inch, though. They do. So that's gonna happen. And then it will work out. And went to the tailor today, and they said they'll be able to extend the pants an inch without removing the cuff, which is good, which is what I wanted. That's good. That is fine and dandy. So that's that. Working out nice, though. It sure is. But you'll see that in reviews to come, and it should be ready by, what did they say, like early, mid next week, so who knows. Maybe it'll be worn within a week. We'll see. We will certainly see. So I'm sorry if there's a lot of pauses. I've been yawning a lot lately. Figure you get 12 damn hours of sleep, shouldn't you be wide awake by now? But it's also I don't know how to describe it. Not necessarily a tiring Saturday, but, who knows? There are no words to really describe it. Just one of those days. I don't know if that really makes any sense, but maybe it does. One of those days. It is. Well, we're gonna put that to an end. Let's get up off the couch here. Let's go and let's get something to drink. Shall we? And let's quell this tiredness, momentarily even, for probably a good 4 or 5 hours, with some caffeine. Specifically, the one and only Amp Energy Boost Cherry, so-called. It's an energy drink. Picked this up last week at Stop and Shop, originally for last night, which I ruined, and we're going to go off that right now. Got a red cap, a little red opener, and I kind of like to look at those and examine them. So, there we go. Cherry. I really haven't had a good amp, since probably 2012. Maybe 2013, but probably 2012. I don't know when I last reviewed one. Amps, to me, are iconic. They bring back 2012 and 2011 for me. Used to drink those suckers all the time back in 2011. The original one. It's green! It's green! It tastes like a gummy! That's what I used to say back then in the famous review number 6. This, however, does not taste like a gummy. It's not green either. It's red. It is red in color, it looks like. This is cherry flavor. Amp Energy Boost cherry, eat caffeine, B vitamins. Be smart about managing your energy. It's boost, active, and focus from Hemp, I believe. See if there's a little nice inscription on the can. Nah, there's not. Hope it's good, though. Hope there's a good amount of caffeine in there, at least. Caffeine. 160. That's more than enough to keep you going. It is. Moderate carbonation and cherry flavor. Drinking it straight up from the can this time around. I am. Sometimes I get kind of paranoid when I'm drinking something from a can. Kind of worried there's like a dead mouse or something in there. Or some sort of dead insect or small animal inside the can. Because I saw this one thing where this guy in Italy or something was complaining about how there was a dead mouse in his can of Monster, and he sued. But I always get kind of nervous, but I say, it would taste kind of funny if there was one in there, so don't really worry about any of that stuff. Anyways, here we sit. $16 or 17 minutes in right now. Hope your day was alright, though. I mean, what I will mention about today is I did some shortwave listening. Picked up a station all the way from South Korea today. It's called KBS World Radio, from, of course, the Korean Broadcasting Service. And I caught their English service, and I even typed up a reception report and wrote it to them. They were interviewing a Korean translator, talking about the language, and they had their Saturday show called Listeners Lounge, I think, where they had a mailbag show where they read emails and letters sent to the station, and reception reports, which mine will be read next week probably, and all sorts of things. So they'll send out a little QSL card, which is pretty neat. That's this little slip of paper, like a postcard, that if you write a reception report to a shortwave station, they'll send one to you, like a picture about the country or the station or something, and it'll officially confirm your reception of their station. I thought that's pretty neat. And they'll send you other things too sometimes. Sometimes they might send you pennants. Sometimes they'll send you flyers, books, literature, pictures, CDs, T-shirts, you name it. They'll send you all sorts of stuff sometimes. That's neat. So I'm going to start writing reception reports more. I'm going to write one to Radio Japan, Radio Romania International, The Voice of Turkey. I wrote one to Radio Havana, Cuba, all the way back in December. Still hasn't gotten here yet. They're really nice, though. They even sent me an email saying it's been sent out. Let us know when it gets in, but you wouldn't believe it. Even though, relations between the U.S. and Cuba are better, and there's even a taxi service, a ferry service between Florida and Cuba, still, postal service between the two places is awful. And on the airwaves, it's not any different than it was beforehand, The United States government, because shortwave radio is actually still pretty popular down in Cuba. It still is. There's a lot of listeners down there. It's kind of like as popular as like AM radio is in the U.S. So there's shortwave stations down in Cuba. They have their station, Radio Havana, Cuba. Then they have Radio Rebelde and Radio Progreso, which are two national stations which broadcast just to Cuba with like Cuban music and Spanish programs and stuff. And the U.S. government has a station which broadcasts from South Carolina down to Cuba called Radio Marti, which is U.S.-sponsored propaganda. It's the only way to put it. They broadcast that down to Cuba, and Cuba jams the broadcast, because, heck, who would really want that stuff broadcasting into their country? And I was kind of curious, when relations got better, would the station still exist, and would it still be jammed? And it sure is. In fact, they're actually increasing their funding to broadcast. So, I don't know. It is what it is. Maybe by 2030 it'll end. Who knows? But, comes in clear here. Just because the transmitters are so close in terms of shortwave. Sorry about that. Sometimes, I know not everyone is big into shortwave. I know if actually a few of you guys listening are. Might be interested in what I'm talking about, but shortwave is my second biggest passion, and probably the third biggest thing that I care about in life. So, it's up there. It's important to me, and that said, I'm a treasure trove of knowledge about shortwave, and I know I hate it when people, including myself, try to seem like they're good at something. But it is the truth. I know a lot about shortwave. That's the one thing I know anything about. Otherwise, I'm an idiot. It's just how it is. But that's the one thing I will actually admit I know something about. It's shortwave radio. So sometimes I'll just go on a little lecture here and there, and I'll just talk about different things, different stations. Cause really, any station you ever see on shortwave, I can tell you something about it. This is how it is. Oftentimes I have a very bad memory. I forget things, but shortwave radio is one of those things that I remember everything I see. So, pretty neat. I did do some listening today. As I say, I heard in KBS and heard some other stations too, just casual listening. Oh, listen to Radio Japan. Wrote a reception report for them too, but I didn't organize it yet. But they were playing some Japanese music. Heard Radio Exterior de España with their football coverage. It's always fun to hear that. You hear, the famous Spanish announcers going, "Goal!" And that's how I spent my Saturday. Had some yummies today. Went to Domino's. Got a medium pan pizza. A pan pizza! With pepperoni and bacon. And an order of breadsticks with garlic sauce, which I'm saving for later. And also trying out. Usually I'll go with either an order of wings, hot, or an order of the boneless chicken with kicker sauce. But no, we're changing it up. Going with the specialty chicken, sweet barbecue bacon. And this is a creation of theirs, which came to fruition about a year ago, exactly. I guess it's been a success enough to stay on the menu for so long. So, that said, they really are, good. It is good. It's like the boneless chicken, but in this one, this one mass. This one horizontal mass. And it's kind of glued together with this sweet barbecue sauce. Then sprinkled over it is this melted cheese. I don't know what type. Maybe Parmesan or American or Provolone or Italiano cheese. And then attached in the whole fray is some bacon bits. Some bacon crumbles. Or crumbles, as some like to call it. So you could look at it and you could say, how am I supposed to eat this? I couldn't give you an answer. I like to I'm sometimes a finger food type of person. I really am. I like picking at something with my hands, So, that's how I like doing that. I like to just grab a piece of chicken, my fingers, and just pop it in my mouth. Just as our native ancestors once did with their specialty chicken from Domino's, right? Back 10,000 years ago. So, that's how I like to eat it. Thing is, though, sometimes sometimes the solid mass of the chicken or the melted cheese, and the bacon, kind of really doesn't attach to the chicken. It's kind of just a solid clump just sitting on top like a little hat. sometimes when you try to reach off, reach a little piece of chicken, it will just kind of won't even attach to anything. It'll just be the chicken, maybe some barbecue sauce. So that's one thing, but it's overall good. Overall good. Pizza was good too. I know sometimes the the pizzas, I kind of like them light on the sauce. I do. That's sometimes for me. Sometimes I just like them light on the sauce. It all depends on the type of the sauce, but unless it's a pan pizza from a reputable establishment like... Now, pan pizza. I mean Chicago-style pan pizza, not to be confused with Domino's-style pan pizza. But from a reputable establishment, Chicago-style pan pizza, which is like almost like a pool of sauce, pretty much. From a reputable establishment, i.e., Pizzeria Uno, is okay. That's how it's meant to be eaten, with a lot of sauce. And it's okay. It's alright. It's a different type of sauce, too. That's the exception to the rule, pretty much. Otherwise... No. Oh, no. You can't have too much sauce on a pizza. For me. Not for anyone else, but just for my slice. My pizza. If I'm sharing a pizza with someone, the person I'm sharing with, it always gets the benefit of the doubt. They want heavy sauce, that's what they'll get. They want light sauce, so great. They want standard sauce, that's what they'll get. That's just how I am. I always respect the guest. Anyways. For me, when I'm alone having a pizza by myself, usually light on the sauce. Lately, I've becoming more receptive to the pizzas and their sauce, but I just don't want to eat a piece of pizza and just have my mouth fill with this cheap fluid that's barely passable as tomato sauce. That they say it comes from vine-ripened tomatoes and this and that and all that BS. It came straight out of a can, as cheap as can be. I don't want that. And often that's a real problem with, who's the, culprit now? DiGiorno. With their new pan pizzas. I don't even touch that anymore. I despise that. Their new pan pizzas, or rising crust pizzas. They say original sauce is back, like they're proud of that. I may remember from about a year ago. DiGiorno had their rising crust pizzas. They looked kind of fancy. They had all these fancy little oregano flakes on it, kind of. That's a different sauce. And that was good. I enjoyed DiGiorno in that era. It was this nice sauce full of herbs and seasonings, and it was nice and sweet. It was a delicious pizza sauce that I greatly enjoyed. Well, they took it away and brought that back in favor of their piece of original sauce. And they said by popular demand, and I had to think, what is the population smoking? I don't know. Maybe it's just my taste. Maybe what am I smoking, right? What am I drinking? What type of energy drink am I drinking? But I just had to take one look at that, and I thought, well, I was kind of bummed out, because I really did like the new sauce, with the herbs and seasonings and so on. The secret herbs and spices like KFC. I enjoyed it. I was kind of bummed to see it go. But just taking sips of amp here. But I'm a reviewer. Gotta be receptive to that type of change. So I tried their new pizza. Disgusting. Could not eat, I'd say more than probably two or three slices out of the 8 I cut. The stuff was so awful. Never again. I have not eaten. No. So So through trial and error, I went through their entire line of pizzas, and I was able to find a few DiGiorno pizzas that still have not been really touched by the plague of horrible sauce yet. That is, their stuffed crust cheese pizza, their designer pizza kits, their Pizzeria by DiGiorno, and this pizza I have not tried yet, but it looks pretty good. It looks promising. It's DiGiorno Italian Favorites Meat Trio. I'm going to do a review of that soon, and we'll see. I'm kind of looking forward to it, though, so we'll see. But same is starting to apply to Freschetta, too. Freschetta's starting to go a little downhill. Not too bad, though. Freschetta's still alright, but it's starting to go downhill a little bit. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it is. So, that's that. What can I say? That's that. Well, who knows? Before anything else, before we say anything else, I want to mention a game I have been notified of, and I want to bring up to you all. It's an online game. May as well hear about it before it goes totally mainstream, but it's going to go mainstream soon, I predict. And soon it's going to be ruined for everyone. So, may as well tell you about it right now. It's called agar.io. That's agar.io. I've played this a few times. I want to mention it to you. It's created on 4chan. Their video games board. Maybe it's their videos. No, their video games board. And it's an interesting, entertaining game. It's already starting to become very popular. It was only created about 2 weeks ago. Already, it's got thousands of players on all its servers, and it's a very simple game. Again, agar.io. You go there, and you can enter a nickname in the chat. I'll enter VORW Radio. Select a region closest to you. Here it'd be US East. Keep it as FFA. And you're just this little dot going around with your name. And there's all these smaller little dots, all these little crystals, And you use your cursor to move around. The object of the game is to simply gain mass. That is it. So you go around and you just mouse over as many of these crystals as you want. You try to eat them. And the more you eat, the bigger you get. And the bigger you get, the slower you get. It's just how it is. Right? Well, Review Bro, that doesn't seem like an interesting game now, does it? You're just eating stuff and you're getting bigger. What is the point of that? Well, that's a good point. There wouldn't be any points to it if that was the point of the game. There'd be no point whatsoever to it. Well, that's where something else comes in. It's a multiplayer game. It's an MMO, as some call it, a massively multiplayer online game. And what it is, yes, well, you're trying to get bigger. There's probably 100 other players on the same board as you. There's no background. It's just this grid, this white grid, and you're out there just trying to get big. Well, there's about 100 other players there, too, who are trying to get big also. Alright, that's kind of sounding a little interesting. So you got competition now eating the crystals, right? Well, yes. At the same time, however, when you get big enough, you can eat players that are smaller than you. Now, of course, as you get bigger, you get slower. So, to gain speed and to kind of shoot yourself at other players, you can press space, and you kind of form into two smaller pieces. When you get big enough, you can launch yourself at smaller players and eat them, and that makes you even bigger. And it's a competitive game. Games, there's no time limit. You lose when you get eaten. Otherwise, it goes on indefinitely. So, it's pretty neat, and you just try to be the biggest one and eat everything else in sight, while there's other people trying to eat you. Sounds like a stupid game, and it really is, but at the same time, it is somewhat addicting. I'm not gonna really become too addicted to it, but it's a good time waster, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. It's one of those games that just, it's there, kills time. It's something good to do when you have nothing better to do. So, just so I bring it up, I was playing it this morning, and I got number one. I was number one for some time. For about 20, 30 minutes, I was number one on the leaderboard. Biggest player there was on the game, on that server. That's pretty neat. If you're interested in playing it, though, you're going to see people with different names. Some people will be blank, but other people give themselves names, and just a fair word of warning right now, if you do wish to play, you will see people with some very offensive names. You'll see, you'll see people all over the place named, Nazi and Hitler, and that's, in comparison to some of the other ones, that's not too bad. But you'll see some people with some, to put it nicely, some racial slurs as their names. Just know that. But that's all. If you're interested, give it a shot. If you don't care for that kind of stuff, I don't blame you. But just something I thought I'd mention. Something that I really would. That is all. Now it is your Showtime Mailbag program, where we will go on and read the mail and see what we've got to really say. All right. See what we got to do. See what we have to do. See where we see where we left off in the last show, shall we? Alright, well, we'll start here, and then we'll work our way up. Have you ever thought about posting all your VORW shows somewhere to download? I have, and we'll see what we can do. I know, though, there are reputable YouTube to MP3 downloaders, so you can check that out. But there are. I know some people say, the YouTube downloaders, don't go to them. They give you viruses and and a lot of them do, really. But there are some which are reputable. One that I use for the Shortwave VORW show called YouTube-mp3.org. That one works. Very simple, and it works. And I use it. So, I recommend that one. But otherwise, we'll see what we can get. If you want the VORW shows on Shortwave, use SoundCloud. If you can download from that, I don't know. But that's where we get them from. Can you play Oh Yeah by Can on your radio show? I'm definitely trying to get it in there. Certainly will. Certainly will. So we'll see. Let's see what we can do. Hey, Review Bro. Hope your week is going well. A few weeks back, my friends and I bought a bag of Lay's mango salsa chips and tried them out while watching a review of them. In the end, we all agreed with your assessment that the flavors didn't work well in chip form, but it was a fun experience nonetheless. We were shocked, however, with the overall rating you gave it, though. 6.2 out of 10 struck us as too generous. Given what you say about the chips, my question for you is, how does your rating system work? Apologize if this has been explained before, but is a 5 considered average to you, or is it more along the lines of below average? The official Review Bra rating system is as follows. 10 out of 10 unattainable. 9.5 out of 10 perfect in every way. 9 out of 10 perfect with minor flaws, such as maybe price. 8.5 out of 10 very good with limited flaws. 8.0 out of 10 is above average with a few flaws. 7.5 out of 10 is average. 7.0 out of 10 is slightly below average. 6.5 out of 10 is below average with noticeable flaws. 6.0 out of 10 is very bad, or is bad with major flaws. Anything below a 6 is awful. Unedible. Now, the reason it wasn't below a 6 is because I ate a few of the chips and I was able to keep them down. If I was not able to, there'd be 1. The lowest thing I ever reviewed was the grilled stuffed nacho by Taco Hell. That was awful. So bad, in fact, I had to make another video actually lowering the rating. Just that awful. An iconic review. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It is awful. John. It's been quite a while since I've sent in fan mail for the VORW show. There have been serious trials and tribulations lately, so it's been rather difficult for me to handle. The issues have gotten so intense I've tried for the 4th time to take my life. I know that you have had a difficult time in social situations, as do I. I have severe social anxiety, major depressive disorder, and bipolar disorder. Things are rough. If anything else, I know how crippling anxiety and depression can be. There have been panic attacks, constant bouts of rage, anger, sadness. I won't go in detail about the events in my life that have caused my trauma, since I will go on far too long, and probably far too depressing. Suffice to say, I consider myself to have tremendous amounts of strength and most importantly, hope. I say this because I'd like to inform you on how much you've helped me cope with these difficult times. I listen to VORW very often, and it has helped me tremendously by allowing me to get my mind on things that are much more positive, rather than persistent, depressive, soul-crushing feelings that have become the norm. I can't express my appreciation with words. Really. Thank you. I'd like to leave you with a quote. I would love to hear what it means to you. Quote, "Since therefore the compound of body and soul is ensouled, body is not the actuality of the soul, but the soul is the actuality of the body." That's from Aristotle. From your friend. Firstly, I would just like to say thank you. Thank you for writing to me with that message. And truly, I do understand depression and anxiety. You know, for me, I have social anxiety, general anxiety, severe depression, paranoia is also a big thing. So I understand. I do know where you are coming from. I really do. And while I won't, really get into my issues either, thank you for understanding, and thank you for being able to understand and, for being able to connect in that manner, one might say. And I do understand how every day can just be tedious and monotonous, and it just drags on, and you really don't care anymore. It's just, great, one more day after the next. I understand that. I do. But that's not what we're talking about here. What I'd just like to say is thank you for writing. These messages, these specific messages, are truly what gives me the morale to keep doing what I do. And it's not to say that the rest of anyone's messages aren't good. It's just these messages are always special to me. Always very important and special to me. Because it's messages like this that really do give me the morale, hope, to keep going on with these shows. Sometimes I'll say, why bother anymore with this channel? Why bother carrying on? I'm just a laughing stock of the internet, Why bother? But I'll see messages like this one, and really, that just says, you have something to keep going for with these videos. And even in life, you can look at this and you could say, look at how you're impacting these people's lives. So it really is something to keep going on for in any regard. Thank you for writing. That really, truly does mean a lot to me. And I hope you know that. I hope you know that, and thank you so very much for writing. Because I cannot express my gratitude to you for Number one, hanging in there. And I know that can be difficult too at times. And for also writing and truly expressing your feelings and thoughts to VORW. And truly it is a pleasure that this online podcast was able to have this effect. Unintended, as a matter of fact, but thank you so very much. As for the quote by Mr. Aristotle, the famous philosopher of ancient Greece. So I think it's a very interesting quote. I do. And with quotes, I always think can be determined, left up, right, to the person reading the quote. That's who should interpret the quote. That's who should really decide, what to make of it. I think it's very interesting, though. I think in some cases it can be true, some cases it isn't. It's neat, though. When you think of body, mind or soul, very interesting to think about. You could think, well, you can have a body without a soul, a dead body. Can you have such a thing, though, as a soul without a body? And who really knows, right? Who really knows? So very interesting. Extremely interesting. Thank you for your very special message. Hi, the Report of the Week. I love your channel. In your last 2 VORW shows, you've emphasized your enthusiasm for broadcasting and how you should do what makes you happy, regardless of whether it brings you wealth or status. Completely agree that, and I think you are wise beyond your years. I also recall you saying that you were planning on reading an Albert Camus book. I read The Stranger earlier this year, and it has stayed on my mind for all these months. I think you would enjoy Camus because he definitely incorporates some interesting life philosophy into his books. Anyways, here are some questions. What is a nice thing someone has done for you? What is a nice thing you have done for someone else? It could be big or small, planned or random. Recently, I was some change short of the cost of lunch. The guy in front of the guy in line to buy his food behind me offered to give me the change I needed to make the purchase. It was a small and random act of kindness on his part, but definitely made my day. There's all sorts of little things. One thing that I remember is when I take the public bus, sometimes there are other people waiting for the bus and whatnot. And I remember one time this one older lady, this elderly woman who had grocery bags and stuff, wanted to get on the bus and she lost her ticket. So I had a backup one. And I gave her that. So that's one thing that I remember. It's just one little, act of, kindness, you could say. What have people done for me? Let's see. See if I remember this. People do all sorts of things. Holding up the door, so on and so forth. So, there's all sorts of things, but, pretty neat. Thank you for the question. Then there's another one that you had. I apologize for my voice. I feel like it's kind of craggly. Do you remember the internet phenomenon of being rickrolled? Have you ever been rickrolled, and how were you tricked? Thanks for the answers. It's always cool to hear your thoughts on random things. From Nicole. Well, Nicole, I do remember rickrolling. I certainly do. Something I remember from the early internet. Yeah, I remember that. I remember YouTube back in the day. That song, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. Unregistered Hypercam 2. All that good stuff. All that good stuff. But yes, I do remember rickrolling. Not popular too much anymore, but I remember that. Sometimes I'll just be looking for certain videos, like random videos on YouTube, and they'd go and set a different thumbnail for it. So I would go there, and instead it would be the rickroll, and I'm not trying to be annoyed. But then I remember listening to the song and I thought, it's actually a pretty decent 80s tune. Nowadays I think it's a nice song. Funny. Thank you for writing. I like your channel. You're not trying to be a comedian or someone you're not, like most food reviewers. You just review the food the way every food reviewer should. Good job. Subscribed. Thank you for your words, sir. Hello, V-Bro. Hope you're having a great week so far. Thank you so much for all your videos. I think I'm part of the elite few who's listened to every single one of your VORW shows. I have some fashion questions for you, and I'd love for you to answer them in your next YouTube VORW. I'm currently in the process of updating my wardrobe. I'm going to buy some V-neck sweaters, and I was wondering what type of fabric you prefer. Do you like cashmere, merino wool, cotton, or lambskin? I personally prefer merino wool, since it never gets cold enough in my area to justify spending the money on higher quality cashmere. I always like merino wool too. I have a few of those sweaters actually. So that's your best bet. That's what I would go with. Also, I'm about to buy some new ties. Do you prefer solid colors, dots, stripes, or abstract patterns on your ties? I always like stripes, but abstract patterns are my favorite. While I have a lot of striped ties, I gotta say, I really like the abstract patterns. I just think those are really neat, and especially with good color combinations, I just think they'd be really interesting and fun too. That's what I think. I was also wondering if you've tried the newer modern and athletic fits that have been coming out. They're much more form-fitting, but still loose enough to give you plenty of room for comfort. I also hate the slim look, but it is in what is currently trendy. I love the comfort of the older clothing, but the baggier look isn't as flattering. Athletic fit and modern fit gives you best of both worlds without the negatives of the other. You have a lot of fans on fit. We have a lot of angry neckbeards that don't even lift, just come here to insult others, though. So don't let those people's hating get on you. It's just how 4chan works. Everyone gets hated on to some degree, and the important thing is that you have support from a large number of fans. Keep up the great work, from Dan. Yeah, the athletic fit. That's what's coming out now. There's one line of suits that's athletic fit suit. Yeah, those are starting to come out now. Those are starting to become more popular. Where it's not like the suits I wear, which are very traditional and roomy. They're form-fitting. Now they are, but they're still roomier, mostly for obviously men that are more athletic. That's its intended wearers, but I'm not about form-fitting. I personally think these suits are a step in the right direction. I really do. But I'm not about form-fitting attire. For me, I always like the pants to have a good drape. The less they're touching me, the better, in my opinion. So everything will kind of just drape down. And I know it's not, by today's standards, the most flattering look. And there is, and I'm fully aware of that. But, I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm just dressing for me, really. So that's why, I wear it. But for most people, I would definitely recommend the athletic fit. Because it looks more like a traditional suit, not, a fashion accessory. Yet, it's still trendy and modern. So, I do recommend that. If that's what you're looking for, if that's what you want to, if you want to go for a more modern look. Otherwise, of course, I'll push my suits, which is obviously pleated creased cuffed pants, longer jackets, wide lapels, and so forth. Very comfortable, too. I recommend them, but thank you so much for writing, and, you are right, I do have a lot of fans from 4chan, and I have to acknowledge that, as bad as that site's been to me over it many times, there are people on there who are genuinely nice and who genuinely, do enjoy the channel and the videos and so forth. Thank you for writing. Hey, the Report of the Week. Question for you. How often, if at all, do you go to the sit-down restaurants in your town? If you do, can you elaborate on the circumstances? Do you go with friends, family, alone, someone else? Is there a particular occasion you might go to a restaurant? Finally, how do you prepare the experience of going to a sit-down restaurant versus takeout and frozen foods? Keep the good work with the VORWs. Well, I don't go to sit-down restaurants too much. The only sit-down restaurants I really go to are nowadays the local pizza places. That's it. I used to go to sit-down restaurants far more frequently, but, not anymore. That's a thing of the past. Right, we've upgraded. We've moved on to bigger and better things, but I don't really go anymore. I usually just go if I'm in the mood for it, but otherwise, just not really for me. Just my anxiety and so forth, but I'll go from time to time. How do I prepare myself? I usually just, I don't look at anyone. Just prepare myself, familiarize myself with what I want to order. Just go in, make my order, pay, sit down. Don't really look at anyone. I'll look out the window or watch TV or read the paper or whatever. But don't look at anyone. Then I'll be a whole lot more comfortable. As long as I don't look at anyone, then I'm okay. Hello. You said you need more fan mail. This is some of that. Here's a question. I'm not good at asking questions, but I'll try my hardest. What kind of toothpaste do you use? Any brushing techniques? Thanks. Love everything you do on the channel. Found you about a year ago on 4chan. One of the best days of my life. Well, I use Colgate, I think. No, it's either Colgate or Crest. Let's go and take a look right now. Let's go. Let's go on a little trip here to find what toothpaste I use. Let's see this. No, I use Aquafresh Extreme Clean Fluoride Toothpaste. Microactive foaming action and whitening. My teeth, they're a horror show, I know. They are. They sure are. But it is what it is. Techniques, really. I have this vibrating toothbrush, kind of just back and forth. So one guy told me to go up and down, but I really can't do that. It's kind of difficult. So no real techniques, just standard brushing. And thank you for your writing, and thank you for your question. Dear the Report of the Week, in past VORWs, you reflected on trips to Hawaii, Philadelphia, Boston, so on and so forth. Throughout your travels, I imagine you've seen your fair share of grave sites and memorials at such historic locations, so I wonder, who would you build a memorial to? Admittedly, it's been fun hearing about your life experiences. I've enjoyed being able to live vicariously through you, in a sense, within the span of VORW. Thank you for sharing part of your life with us. Sometimes I wish I was with you. Sometimes I just wish I was you. Stay cool, my friend. Well, thank you so very much for writing. So who would I build a memorial to? Now, I could delve deep into this, right? I could come up with all sorts of historical characters and something. But two individuals came to mind immediately. Alright? Steve Harvey and, let me pronounce this guy's name right. Guglielmo Marconi. We'll just call him Mr. Marconi, who was pretty much the guy who discovered shortwave radio. Mr. Marconi. So the two of them, Steve Harvey, see, he does have nice suits. His personality I don't really care for, but he's got nice suits. And Mr. Marconi, obviously, for reasons which don't really need to be explained. Thank you so very much for your fine message. Dear Review Bra, would you ever consider reviewing non-food/beverage products? I'd be up for music reviews, suit reviews, movie reviews, or whatever. I'm sure if you asked your other fans if they'd like to see these, they'd respond very positively. That is something I've thought about, and we'll see. Well, we will see. It's a possibility. It's a definite possibility. Right now I'm sticking with food and drink. That's kind of the staple of this channel, but we'll see. I'll be around for a while, and you never know what the future will hold. The future will hold, I should say. Hey there, love your show. LOL, I have been watching The Crazy Preacher on the radio at least once a week for about a month or two. I have deciphering it, if you will. I was actually thinking about trying to transcript the whole video as best I can, LOL. It would be pointless, but it's something to do. Anyways, my question. I was wondering if all your Idle Mind episodes were uploaded. I'm missing them. Am I missing them, or are they not public? Thank you for your time. Let me check here right now. Let's check. I did take a bunch of them down, but I'm going to check right now for you and see where things stand on them. Okay? Let's go back to 2012 here. Okay. No, a bunch of them are up. We have episode 1, the YouTube show is up. Episode 2, the shoes show is up. Episode 3, basement work is up. 6, prison is up. 9, spiders is up. So yeah, a bunch of them are up. But we do have 1, 2, 3, 4... 6 shows that are down, and they will be down for good, just due to their content, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Too controversial, one can say, and I apologize for that. I do, but it's just how things are. I apologize. I really do. Rebra, I love your channel so much. If you were to make a Kickstarter to get a higher quality camera, maybe some better lighting, I think many people would support it. I know I would. But thank you for the idea. You know, I like the camera and the lighting. I do. If I ever wanted to upgrade, who knows, but right now I'm alright with it. I am, but we'll see. We'll see what the future holds, but I like the darker lighting in that older camera. You know, it's tried and true, it serves its purpose, and we'll see, though. We'll see. Hey man, love the videos. Was wondering if you're going to be doing any more lectures. I have watched them all multiple times. Something I was just thinking about, I was answering the other question. Maybe I will bring back the Idle Mind lectures, you know? Bring them back by popular demand, per se. So who knows? Something I'd kind of like to do. So we'll see. We'll see. I just have to get myself motivated enough to do them, and if I have the motivation, I'll do them. So we'll see. Something I'd like to do, I think it would be pretty cool to bring back Idle Mind, you know, like 2 years later. So we'll definitely see. We will. We'll see what we can do. I'm an avid listener of your VORWs. Just want to let you know that you'd get much more fan mail and questions if you enable comments in your videos. If only censored comments on VORWs. We're in a new age of people using their phones for internet, and it's damn near impossible to message you on YouTube via a mobile app. Just a fan giving you some personal insight. I'd write you more if it were easier to do so, and you have all the capabilities of making it easier for me and hundreds of other listeners. Peace, MLK. Well, something I thought about. I don't know if I'm going to bring down the comments, the censorship of the comments yet. Yeah, pardon me, there's a spider here. I'm going to have to kill it with extreme prejudice here via the use of chemical warfare. It's a fast one, as I call it. Most spiders I don't care about. They don't bother me at all, but this is an exception to the rule. The fast ones, they scare me. So I have to go. Any fast-moving types of insects I don't like very much. But otherwise, yeah, he'll be dead within minutes. But otherwise, you know, the rest of them are okay. So, I call them fast tans. They're the only spiders I kill with extreme prejudice. But otherwise the rest of them can stay. I don't care. I do not care. There he goes. He's there. Alright, where are we here? Yes. So, I know a lot of people do use their mobile phones and devices for internet nowadays. I don't know. Comments have been disabled now for getting close to 3 years. It's just, they were disabled when I really didn't even have much of an audience. So it's just something I'm not going to be used to. I don't know. If I ever come down, it's going to be like the Berlin Wall falling. It's going to be a massive change. And, you know, I don't know. It worries me also, because I try to just have somewhat serious but professional reviews. I'm just worried that taking the comments down is just going to turn them all into a cesspool. You know? Then what's the point of you know, watching a review and taking it seriously when all you see in the comments is people laughing at it, saying, you know, LOL, look at this fag, you know, look at this autistic, etc. You know, just things I think about. I figure if I ever do, but I don't know, I think if, you know, I don't know, we'll see. That's all I have to say. We will see. We'll see. Been watching you for a while, wondering why the comments are disabled. Well, we kind of covered that in the last one, but, you know, just because of all the trolls and the hatred and so on and so forth, it was really making me depressed and, you know, just wasn't working out well for me, so needed change. And finally, for the show email, you can email us at repweekinterview1@gmail.com. That's one word, repweekinterview1@gmail.com. Hi, Report of the Week. I can't believe you've produced such a staggering amount of VORW shows, so I always look forward to hearing you read fan mail and ramble on about whatever comes to mind. Can't remember if this has already been asked already, but if you have a superpower, what would it be? If you can't decide, you can click on this link and it will randomly assign you a power. Tell us what you would like with your what you would do with your newly gifted abilities. I've drawn you some new fan art. This is done with no reference. I hope you are satisfied with it. I am very much satisfied with it. Thank you so much for your fan art. That's obviously the fan art for this show. Let's click on this here. Let's see what we got. Let's see what our superpower is. Decomposition manipulation. The power to control decomposition. Things to do with decomposition. So my superpower, a user can manipulate decomposition, the process in which organic substances are broken down to simpler forms of matter. They can increase or decrease the rate of rotting, or stop or prevent or even reverse the effect. Oh, that's easy. That's easy. Get really good food, even from around the world, and just bring it home and make sure it doesn't rot or decompose, so I could eat it at home without having to worry about any of that. Done. There you go. I could do that for reviews or whatever, and I don't have to worry about food getting spoiled. There you go. Worked out great. Great superpower. And thank you for the fun. And thank you for the fun, suggestion, question, and of course the fan art. Thank you so much. Well, that just about wraps up this VORW show. Hope you had a fun time listening. I had a pretty good time making this program. Hope you have a wonderful Sunday, whatever's left of it. Beautiful week, beautiful Monday. I'll see you later. Suggestions are always welcome, and who knows, maybe the idle mind will make a return. Thank you very much for watching, and take care. This is the voice of the Report of the Week.